Why does my weight fluctuate so much? I don't understand. I get on the scale today and I'm 1 pound heavier. Yesterday I was a pound lighter. Why does my weight fluctuate? I sound like someone you know? What's up, guys? It's Anthony from AB Fitness Center. We help you to lose body fat, gain muscle, and get stronger. Today we're going to be talking about weight fluctuations and why your weight does that. Like I said, step on a scale. Oh boy, it's up again. Get on, get off, get on again. You check it like 6 times in one day and you're like, my weight's fluctuating. It's all over the place. First and foremost, before we even roll into anything, you cannot, the most accurate time to weigh yourself is in the morning after you go number 1 and number 2. So if you're getting on the scale in the middle of the day or at night and you're telling me, hey Anthony, I'm gaining weight. Yeah, I would hope so throughout the day, because what are you doing throughout the day? You're drinking water, you're eating food, and you're doing things that are gonna make you gain weight. So yes, 100% you should be heavier later on in the day. But before we get started in why weight fluctuations happen, make sure you hit that subscribe button. This way you never miss a beat and you get real life, applicable fitness information without the fluff. If you're listening to this on a podcast, please make sure you drop me a 5-star review, as that helps the brains of all these algorithm things do their job and let everyone know I'm doing a good job. And if you're watching this on Instagram, I don't know, wherever you're watching this, just drop the like button, all right? Do me a favor, just do that. I'm giving you good advice here, just make sure you do that. All right, let's get rolling. So why does your weight fluctuate so much? Well, first and foremost, weight loss is not linear. You're always gonna have fluctuations. That is totally normal. I'm gonna get into the reasons why later on, but you have to remember that weight loss is not linear. It'll never go like this. Never. It'll always be like this. Or maybe like that. But you have to really watch the trends. And that's what we do. That's what a good coach, nutritionist, trainer does, is they watch the trends of weight loss. You can't just make changes to anyone's program based on what happens today, what happens, whatever. Because anything can change, fluctuations happen, and it's totally normal. So what is the perfect amount of fat loss to lose? So this is a pound of fat right here, all right? And in 1 pound of fat contains 3,500 calories. It's a lot of calories, right? So how much body fat should we be aiming to lose? And body fat is different than weight on the scale, right? So when we want to lose fat, we want to lose actual body fat, this nasty stuff that sits all over your body. We want to lose this, right? So how do we lose just this? This is the most important thing. This is what we're looking to lose, not weight on the scale. Because I can manipulate your body really quick to lose a lot of weight really fast on the scale, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you've lost any actual body fat. I'm sure you know someone who's done like a juice cleanse, or someone's trying a juice cleanse before vacation to try to lose a little bit of weight. Typically when you do that, it's just water weight. It's none of this stuff. And this is exactly what we want to lose. So if you're trying to lose real body fat, 0.5 to 1% of your body weight is healthy, sustainable, long-term, permanent fat loss, right? So what does that equate to? That equates to 0.1 or 0.2 pounds on the scale. So this is a pound. 0.1, that's like this much. That's normal fat loss. So soak that in. That little bit right there. That's it. That's normal fat loss per week. Because remember, like I told you, this is not easy to lose, right? Like what you'll see on the scale is this much, I should say. I'm sorry. I should clarify what I said. It's not that you can't lose, a lot of this, but I'm saying 0.1 to 0.2 pounds on the scale is what you're actually seeing. So that's when you look at the scale and you're down, I'm down 3 pounds today. I mean, congratulations, but it's probably not fat, okay? 0.1 per day is what you're looking to lose of pure fat. And again, that's never going to be linear. So don't expect, today you're 180, tomorrow you get on the scale, you want to be 179.9. Doesn't happen like that. All right. But just to give you real numbers to really apply it and look at it, like I said, it's probably about that much, which is not much at all. And if you end up losing a bunch of weight really quickly, you tend to end up losing muscle mass. Muscle mass is the most important thing, especially when you're trying to change your body composition, because the more muscle you have, the leaner you're going to look, the more toned you're going to look, and overall the better your physique is going to be. So that's why we really strive. So why does my weight fluctuate? Get to the point, Anthony. Why? I had to preface that whole video by doing that, because that is real weight loss. I always give you guys real information without fluff. But what are the real reasons? So 1, more salt. Maybe you had a little bit, as one of my clients puts it, a salt bomb, and you had something that just contained a lot more sodium than normal. Well, you're going to be heavier the next day because sodium attracts water, and that's what gets held onto. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's fat. Okay, you didn't, just because you had a salt bomb the day before and you got on the scale today, it doesn't, oh, my weight's up today. But that doesn't mean that the weight up is fat. Remember, this is 3,500 calories here to put this on. That's pretty hard to do in one day of pure fat. I mean, it can be done. But the point is that that's one of the reasons why. Just because you manipulated your salt intake, or on the opposite end of it, I should say. So maybe you had less salt today, and now, oh, you got on the scale. Oh, I'm 3 pounds down today. I'm doing a good job, and that sets the pace for the whole day. You're riding high because you think you lost 3 pounds of this stuff. Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it doesn't necessarily work like that. So salt is one of the reasons why your weight fluctuates. And again, remember, if you're exercising regularly, you need salt. Salt is an electrolyte. Unless you have issues with blood pressure, then it's a totally different conversation. But you need salt, you need those electrolytes to help your muscles function and to help be as strong as you can in the gym. So, second thing, carbohydrates. Oh my God, they're evil too. They make you gain fat. Doesn't work like that. You need to be eating in a calorie deficit in order to be burning body fat. That's first and foremost. But carbohydrates store water. So for every 1 gram of carbohydrate that you consume, that means you consume 3 grams of water with that into the muscle. That's kind of how it works. So that means if you ate 1 pound of pure carbohydrates, so let's say you had 1 pound, I don't know, of pasta, right? You would be 4 pounds heavier the next day on the scale, because that 1 pound of pasta will pull with it 3 pounds of water. Again, give or take, I'm just over, I don't know if that's 100% accurate, but I'm just trying to give you my point and try to drive the point home with real things. So that's how basically it works. And that's a normal occurrence. That's what happens. Carbohydrates pull water into the muscle. That's exactly what's going to happen. But again, that doesn't necessarily mean it's fat. If you got on the scale after having pasta, you see, Anthony, I can't eat pasta because pasta makes me gain weight. Yeah, because it's more carbs than you're used to taking. So you got to remember that. That's why you have to be tracking your protein, your carbohydrates, and your fat. Because if you're tracking your carbohydrates, your carbohydrate level are going to be the same all week. You shouldn't have those fluctuations from carbs. But this is also why when people go on keto diets, they lose a bunch of weight really fast, because now they don't have any carbohydrates in their system and they're ridding all that water weight really fast. But this is also why whenever someone on a keto diet adds in carbohydrates, they gain weight very quickly. So keep that in mind too. Third thing, you ate later. Okay, maybe you ate a later dinner. So maybe you're still digesting it in the morning when you get up and get on the scale. That doesn't necessarily mean you gained fat. Your body's just still digesting. That means that the food is still in your intestines. That's all that means. It's not fully digested out yet. Okay? Number 4, and this one always happens to me, and I talk about this stuff, but it affects me too. I get it. So fiber, okay? Fiber also pulls water into your GI tract. So if you have a huge salad or more vegetables than normal, you're going to be heavier the next day on the scale. So this always happens to me. I love broccoli rabe. I'm Italian. I love broccoli rabe. So usually on the weekends, I end up having some broccoli rabe because it's just the weekend's easier. It's more time to sit down and cook. And like clockwork, every single time, I have a lot of broccoli rabe too. Every single time, like clockwork, the next morning, I'm up on the scale. And I always like, oh, it's the broccoli rabe. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's fat. It's just water, because I have more fiber in my system. Fiber is pulling more water into my GI tract, and that's the way it goes. So whenever you consume a lot of vegetables, you're going to notice your weight's going to spike up and down a lot, because the more fiber in your gut, the more water it's going to pull with it. So that's another reason. Another reason why your weight would fluctuate is maybe you had an earlier weigh-in. So if you get up normally at 7 and you got up today at 5, well, your weigh-in's probably going to be a little bit up because you didn't have those 2 extra hours to digest a little bit more, or pee or poop a little bit more also. So you got to keep that in mind. And the last point is poop. Poop. Some days it's more and some days it's less. But you got to remember that, you'll fluctuate from that. Some days there's more waste, other days there's not as much waste. So that's why I say the best time to weigh yourself is in the morning, first thing upon waking up, after you do number 1 and number 2. Because after you do that, you're completely emptied, and then you could get on the scale. Most people tell me, I get up, I go to the bathroom, then I have a cup of coffee, and then I do number 2, and then I weigh myself. And yeah, you may be a little less like that because maybe you're pushing more out, but that's not necessarily your real weight, especially if you ate or drank anything. So that's the most accurate way to put it. So how do we track your weight then? How do we know what weight is right? Like I said, you get on the scale today, it's up, tomorrow it's down. What's right? So this is what you do. This is the plan. You take your 7 days, you weigh yourself every morning like clockwork, religiously. Wake up in the morning, pee, poop, get on the scale, record that measurement, okay? So what you're gonna do is, out of the 7 days, you're going to pick the lightest number every week, okay? That's the meaty number. I call it the meaty number. So you're going to pick that middle number or whatever the lightest number is of the week, and that's going to be your target weight. And then every week, you're going to track that middle number, okay? Because this way, it eliminates the fluctuations of the high days, and it eliminates the fluctuation of the low days. Because remember, if we just track the low days, you can manipulate that and have a low weigh-in, often. But if we track that middle number, it allows us to push away the high numbers and push away the low numbers. So that's essentially how you want to do it. And you should be watching that middle number every week is going down consistently. All right, guys, that's this video. Hopefully you liked it. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you never miss a beat. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.